Looking with Gordon. Yeah, thank you guys for having us. We're really happy to be here. And I thank Gordon and Ms. Joan for allowing us to be here tonight. And yeah, really just answer any questions y'all might have. Talk about the initiatives that we're involved in, getting outreach around campus. Because I know that, yeah, as Gordon mentioned, that's something that, maybe you guys aren't privy to as much, but I may have, said to a couple of you guys before, I promise we're out there and we're getting the work done. And yeah, so I'll let these guys kind of introduce themselves a little bit, and then we'll just, it's a forum. So we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Just to expand a little bit more on the introduction that Gordon already gave us, my name is Chasten Atkins. I'm our membership director for UGA College Republicans. So basically my job is, help grow the organization, help get more new membership, greater involvement, whether it be our freshmen, whether it be people who have been on campus for a while now and are just trying to find a way to get involved, didn't know about College Republicans because, well, maybe they just don't check around too much. Maybe they don't try to get involved that often, but try to grow that base, then, do our membership audit, see who we have on our records, see who we don't, make sure that we're up to date, that we don't have people who were part of the organization maybe in 2016, 2017, and, make sure they're in our alumni database and do that, and then just keep a record of all those materials so that we have them on hand. And I've been doing this job since this past November because I was elected. It's an elected position. We have 4 elected positions along with the membership director. We have our treasurer, Mr. Clay Disharoon right here, our chairman who couldn't be here today because he has a class that actually gets out at 6:30, and then our vice chair who is studying for an economics exam right now. But I'll go ahead and let Clay do his own talking.
Yeah, so as Chasten has already said, my name is Clay Disharoon. I'm from Dawsonville, Georgia, near Dahlonega, and I'm the treasurer for UGA College Republicans. Obviously, I hold the purse, so whenever we do something, they have to come through me for the money. But on top of that, we all have a part to play in getting our name out there, getting people involved, not just on campus, but getting involved in organizations such as this and getting people out to vote. And like Chasten, I was elected in November. And this is my first term as treasurer. And yeah, we look forward to hearing what y'all have to say tonight.
And just touch it up on Clay a little bit. He's doing a bang-up job so far, and as part of working with other organizations, that goes with working with groups like Turning Point Action, like Turning Point USA. I'll tell y'all, we did a little event with them, I guess you could call it an election watch party with them over at one of the restaurants downtown. I can't tell you, I don't think I've ever seen a room more packed than that night. I've never seen so many people wearing red MAGA hats who were my age either. So it was a great night, and we had a great turnout. So we're happy to be partnering with groups like that and working more not just with young people, but with people in the community here, such as the Clarke County Republican Party, whether it be the 10th District Republican Party, or even the 9th or 8th District. Just working with all the good people we can and trying to grow that base and grow those connections. So we can get out there and turn out the vote in 26 and beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, so if there's anything that y'all are curious about or any pressing questions y'all have for our initiatives on campus, I mean, we'd be happy to do our best to, fill you in. Go for it.
I've had this question for years. I'm going to speak kind of loud. I've had this question for years. When the students come to UGA, freshmen, sophomore, transfers, whatever, I have been down there and have spoken before about the possibility of the students switching their voter registration while their residency is in Athens to switch to vote in Clarke County. That's never been well received, and I realize, of course, the comment that I hear is we want to vote for our representatives back home, or mom and dad are not real keen on me, doing that. And I understand all those. What do you see moving forward? Is that even more of a possibility? Because with, in some of our commission races where some of the students would live, it could win a commission race. So I'll leave it up.
Yeah, real quick, I'll actually hit on that because this is something that I found, I was very happy with how the college Republicans approached that very question this past election cycle. we were very fortunate to have leadership who made it a point of interest to say, yeah, you know, we all want to vote where home is, right? And is this not home for many of us students? We were fortunate to have testimony from some people who are alumni of the University of Georgia who still consider Athens to be their home. And the, I guess, realization of how important local politics is to your home, I think it's something that was very well received this past cycle. The final thing I'll say on that, I know Justin could really kind of hone in on this, is that we were also very fortunate to have Clarke come speak to us a couple of times. And, you know, unfortunately, whether it be, you know, through tragedy that happened last year, we were all very aware that this is home for us. And the stakes were higher last election cycle than they'd ever been for us on that campus. And the intent to really drive home that point of this is your home and this is your DA's race, you know, was something that I think we did at the, you know, UGA College Republicans. We did a great job of sending out that sentiment. But yeah, I know Justin can kind of.
Absolutely, we were very happy to be hosting Clarke twice, once in once in the spring semester in 24, and then once in the previous fall semester. And so I think that coupled with you know, the tragic events of what happened last spring semester really made everyone realize that, you know, what happens in Clarke County is important and the races here do matter. And I think that has got a lot of people interested in switching their voter registration. And I know that the university has also made it easier for students to vote on campus. They opened up that early voting center, I believe, around the Tate Tate Student Center, to make that a lot easier for everybody, so that we could actually be able to get that done. Because I think that's a big hurdle is, well, people don't know where their precinct's at, and they don't know where all these different things are, and they don't want to go to the Board of Elections website and find out, oh, am I in here or I'm there or something like that. I know that when I voted personally in my home county, in Whitfield County, this past election cycle, because we also had a very heavily contested race with a Democrat incumbent. And I think that, you know, it's just been very important to just make sure people have that accessibility. And I'm glad that college Republicans, this is one of the few things where we did work with the Democrats, actually. We went to them jointly and said, hey, we both want this here, can you get it done? And they said, absolutely. You, sir.
How many paid members do you have, and how much are the dues?
So we do not collect dues for the college Republicans. It's free membership. You just have to attend a certain amount of meetings, and then you can vote in our general body elections. I think the magic number is 3, I want to say. Yeah, it's 3 meetings per semester to vote in that general election to be counted. And so we don't collect dues. We don't want anyone to have an impediment to want to join or anything like that. It's not necessary to. It's hard enough to want to be conservative on a college campus. Don't make them force over their hard-earned money, even if it's not even that hard-earned.
And so on the money question, most of our funds come from the State College Republican Committee and the National Committee. But we also have had donations from Congress people, we've had donations from district chairs, and we've also had individual donations. And so if anyone here is feeling generous tonight,
Tell us where.
we can get that information to you, sir.
How many members?
I did our last membership audit, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, because we're having we're having some state requirements we have to meet, so we have to send in those numbers. But I think the last number that I checked was around 230. And granted, this is not people who come to every single meeting. These are people who have been to meetings throughout the course of their time at UGA, and they are current members who have not yet graduated. So there are some seniors who are going to be graduating this year, and once they have graduated, we'll put them in the alumni roles. Yeah.
I think his hands up first.
All right, you sir, had your hand raised for a while.
You're from Whitfield County?
Yes, sir.
What's the major city there in Whitfield County?
So the major city in Whitfield County is Dalton, Georgia, former carpet capital of the world.
Who did y'all pay to get the state convention up in
So I heard a little bit about that. Basically, it was the cheapest place they could find, and I will tell you, as someone who had their graduation ceremony up there, it's not bad, and they have elevator access in case anyone can't walk upstairs. So,
From a guy that's from up in that part of the state, where are the hotel rooms to have?
so our state representative actually owns a hotel, so he might be able to get a good rate.
There we go.
And he also owns half the downtown, so he'll be able to get food too. I promise you
We need
that.
to talk after this is over.
I'll do my best to help you there.
How many kids, how many young men and women come to your meetings? 50, 75?
It just depends on what we have going around. I mean, at a typical discussion meeting where we might just talk about what's happened on the news, we might get 20, 25 people. If we have a speaker, like if we had when we had Congressman Mike Collins come out, we probably had 65, 70 people. And then when we had former Senator Kelly Loeffler, as well as Houston Gaines come out, our own representative for this area in Athens, Clarke County, we had, I'd say, upwards of 70 people there. So we had a packed auditorium.
Do you ever have a parent come?
Parents come? I can't say for certain that I've seen parents come.
Occasionally we'll have a
Would
few
you,
people.
would your daddy put a sticker on his car that my son's a college Republican?
I don't know. I haven't asked him that. I would hope so. Yes, ma'am.
You are at UGA for a reason. You want to graduate. You come in, there are plenty of clubs you could join. What made you get involved in the College Republicans?
Yeah, so I actually transferred to UGA last spring semester, spring of 24. And I knew, obviously, we were in for a big year, 2024. So I came in at a good time. The College Republicans did a great job. The first day I ever met Cheston, actually, was at the engagement fair a couple weeks into the spring semester back in last year. Yeah, I knew that when I came to a university like this, that getting more politically involved would be something that I would enjoy. And I was very fortunate, very blessed to find the College Republicans that day and to meet Cheston. Yeah, and I was very warmly welcomed by the group, and it was a very young group at the time, and I thought that given the year that we were in for, and we were all riled up, even back last January. But yeah, given that we knew what the year was going to hold, we knew that the stakes were high. We knew that this was it. This was, if there was ever time to get involved, if there was ever time to get motivated, that was the year. So I came into this university really motivated, and I was very blessed to find this group. And that's why what I said earlier, I'm very glad to see that the outreach that they've done, because I know that each semester there's somebody else like me that transfers to UGA and says, this is where I want to get involved. This is when I want to be, put this motivation to work. And I think this club's done a great job at doing that. And I think that, I look forward, I know, to being part of that alumni network someday as well, which I think is very important, that a lot of us maybe when we're in school don't think about, but I know that can be very beneficial to a lot of people. So that's something that I look forward to, and I'll let them go.
Yeah, so in a way, I got involved in College Republicans in a way because I was looking for it. I had heard about the organization and I thought it'd be a good one to join. I started following them on social media around my senior year because I knew that I was politically interested and motivated, and I had always, since I was in elementary school, I'd always liked politics, loved studying presidents, that sort of thing. And I knew I was going to be a political science major, so I thought, well, I better get involved in this group because I identify with what they believe in. And I can't say that I've had a negative experience at all. I've been very fortunate to find this group of young men and young women. And so that's really the best thing I can say about it.
So I'm gonna have to walk my story back a little further than that. So in 2020, I was in 9th grade, and there was one person, one individual who I saw on my TV that changed my life for the better. I guess everyone's life for the better, since you're all sitting in here and you're Republicans. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So everyone in my family are lifelong Republicans since we switched over from Democrats way back when, but we don't talk about those times. And, you know, we never really talked about politics because we were all the same. We all voted Republican. I didn't vote at the time, but some other people did. And since 2020, I have become so entrenched in politics, everything about it, from policy to elections. It's just became my bread and butter. It's something that I love and I care about. And when you care about your nation, you have to put in the effort to preserve it.
That's right.
And so whenever I got to UGA, I had already met Chasten from an event that we did in high school called Youth Assembly. And you can look it up. It's a wonderful organization if you have kids or grandkids that are high school age or even middle school age. But anyway, Chasten had suggested that I join College Republicans, and I'm a freshman, so I came in at the height of the 2024 election, after the assassination attempt, after the RNC, after the DNC, after Kamala Harris had somehow got the nomination with no votes, besides the point. And we knew that the stakes were high in this election. We knew that if we wanted to save our nation, now was the time. Biden in 2020 said that we are in a battle for the soul of our nation, and that was no truer than it was in 2024. It was a battle for the soul of our nation, and we were in a culture war. We still are. But we had to fight, and we needed an outlet. I needed an outlet for all of this political knowledge, all of this experience that I had gained, and College Republicans just felt like home to me. And I've clicked with all of the people. I've made some of my best friends, and it's been such a beneficial experience. So that's why I joined College Republicans. Yes, sir?
Are you guys open to graduate students or just undergraduate?
I think we are open to graduate students.
So we are part of state organization, and as part of that, I represent both the state as well as the UGA chapter. I serve on both boards as the membership director for UGA and the secretary for the state. And I can say that we are open to both undergraduate and graduate students. However, predominantly because of time commitment and that sort of thing, a lot of our people who are involved are undergraduate students. But yes, we are open to them as well.
So do you go to classes to speak, or are you invited into classrooms to speak to students, or is that something that you are not really authorized to do?
So we don't, that's not typically how our meeting process goes. A lot of what we do is we have meeting spaces that we reserve on campus and through a reservation site that's owned by the university. And then we will have regular meetings that we will schedule, or we might do something in the community downtown or some other place if we're having a special sort of tab night or percentage night at a restaurant, that sort of thing. But we're very open to graduate and undergraduate students.
Well, so I ask these questions because I'm faculty in food science and nutrition, but I don't really see a presence of you guys on South Campus. So just wondering if there's a way for you to get down, get your word out, and have access into classrooms or to building spaces to
Right.
put that out if you want.
I mean, absolutely. We ran off literature flyers, that sort of thing. If we could get people to help us put things up on that side of campus, if they'd be willing to, as long as it doesn't get taken down, that's the main thing that we've run into the issue with in the past. Because I know that in Baldwin Hall, for example, they don't let put anything else up except for faculty-sponsored events. And none of the political clubs like College Republicans or Young Democrats are faculty sponsored. We don't have advisors or anything like that. But that would definitely be something that we could hopefully do. And if there are students who might be interested that you might want to invite one of our people to speak about or something like that, we could definitely set that up. I think that'd be a great gain because a lot of our focus is on North Campus with Terry, with Baldwin, and a lot of the different, I guess you'd say, liberal arts colleges. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have friends of mine that have sent their kids to UGA, and they have just been they feel like they've been brainwashed, you know, as far as the liberal agenda. I'd like to know how you guys avoided that trap. And also I have a 17-year-old grandson that will soon be starting college, so I would like some advice.
Although we have 3 Republican sons.
That's right.
That's good to know. I mean, part of it is kids. In my experience, as someone who has a nephew who's 15 years old and is kind of seeing a little bit of that right now as well. I will say part of it's just natural, and they're going to rebel against whatever their parents, grandparents taught them, no matter what. And eventually, you hope that they come back around. And I think, at least in my experience, that's been true. I mean, I probably held some very, might say, crazy views when I was younger, but then I was like, well, I'm back to earth now. Everybody. we're back at ground zero. But I think that as far as the indoctrination type thing goes, I myself haven't seen a lot of that. There might be, it depends on the professors too, I think, is part of it. Because I think that all in all, there are a lot of great professors at the University of Georgia. The political science professors, as well as the people who are in the business school, I can vouch for as being great. A lot of them are conservative. I'll tell you, I had a great economics professor last semester who definitely was not a Marxist, I'll tell you that. But I can tell you that of the colleges where you could send your kids to get a good education and not have to be indoctrinated, I think UGA is one of them. And it also just depends on, well, how susceptible could they possibly be, that sort of thing. And if they're level-headed and they've got a good head on their shoulder, I think they'll be all right.
One more question.
Who had their hand? Yes, ma'am.
The first, I have 2 things. The first one's for Clay. Did you ever win Best Bill Award?
No, I actually never won an award at Youth Assembly.
Because I'm from Commerce.
Okay.
And we won it 2 years in a row, and I wrote the bills both times. If I had been in Tri-High the year before, I didn't pay my dues in time. We could have won it 3 times and retired. And then, do you know Johnny Joy Jones from Chaston? He's from Whitfield. Well, he's from Dalton, and no, he's always on Fox.
Johnny. I've heard the young man who lost his legs.
Yeah.
I've met him once before. He was very nice, and he gave us a very good speech at my high school. And I've heard he's done some good work. That's the extent to which I know him.
Just one more. What are each of your aspirations as far as past
Future.
college? What are you looking toward? Quickly, if you
Sorry, I'm the
can.
oldest.
I am the oldest. Yeah, I think that I found a real footing in local politics, and coming to these meetings it's been very enlightening to me, seeing that, just as we go to college and sometimes think like, there's not a conservative base here, and then you're kind of awakened and see that, there are people here. I've been very blessed to come to these meetings and meet many of you and see that, lots of people will say to me, nobody cares about local politics. Well, I see it here. People who do care, and the passion is there. So I want to say thank you to a lot of you guys for kind of showing me that. So yeah, long term, I think the interest in local politics is certainly something that maybe will blossom perhaps into something more. I think that you never want to say, because I've heard so many people say, I'm never going to run for office, but I'm never going to run for office. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, but I think staying engaged. I like to say that the more hands you shake, that's kind of my thing, is shaking as many hands as I possibly can. So I think through asking questions, and I've been very, again, blessed to ask many of you guys lots of questions about, your professional lives, your personal lives, and get to know, see where that passion comes from. So getting to know people, getting to know their questions, and putting that towards the passion. And I think ultimately, wherever it takes me professionally or personally, that passion is always gonna be there.
As for my post-graduation aspirations, long-term goal is to go to law school and open up a practice in Whitfield County and just work with people in my community, that sort of thing. Of course, I'm always going to have ties here in Clarke County, so I'll have to make the trip at least once or twice or 3 times a year, if not for a Dogs game or something like that. But I tend to hopefully also stay involved in local politics, whether it be here or whether it be in Whitfield County. I already serve as a precinct chairman over there, so I'm going to try and
for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm gonna try and stay involved in GOP and just try and do good work all around.
Yeah, great.
So I guess you could say I have some lesser aspirations perhaps than my colleagues here. I intend to be a high school history and government teacher.
That's
We need conservatives in all positions.
yes.
in all
Yes,
fields.
yes.
And you know, after undergrad, I hope to go to graduate school. You know, make some more money, and Lord willing, if the time ever comes, maybe I'll find my way into state or hopefully even federal politics. So we'll just see where that takes me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you guys.